So, first things first. This video is not an attack on anyone. The things I say here are not me condoning or excusing any harassment towards anyone. This is just me dumping my thoughts on something I've been obsessed with for the past month, so that I can finally move on like everyone else seems to have. I might end up deleting this sometime after I upload it if it ends up causing more trouble than it's worth. So, at the end of April, I made a video where I was kind of, manic, I think is the word? Maybe? While talking about the then recently leaked Talbert files overview document. Since then, I've made several other videos and posts about it, some of which I've deleted by now. During this time, I've been doing a lot of thinking that I haven't gone into on this channel, so now I'm gonna dump it all here. So, do I think the book is real or fake? Obviously it's a real physical book as of Entom's new video, but what I mean is, was this made by Scholastic and Scott, or was it made as a hoax? I can't say this with absolute certainty, but at the moment, I think that it's a hoax. And no, it's not because Scott said so. I don't trust a word that man says, and it pains me to take his side on something. The first thing I noticed that made me doubt its validity is this. The texture on this paper changes right where the text starts in the final version. It's pretty clear that a content-aware fill was used to cover up the text. This would make no sense if the book was made by Scholastic. They have all the original textures. They wouldn't edit over the text, they'd just delete it and replace it with new text. It can't be that they were in too much of a hurry to do that, because it would be just as fast, if not faster. This happens again on the cover. It's an edited version of the Ralston cover, but part of the text wasn't covered up. If you brighten the image, you can see the start of the G from gaming. Why wouldn't Scholastic just edit the text? Then, a little under a month later, when the video came out, I noticed things that made it even more suspicious. The cover shown to us before and the cover shown in the video don't line up, and the differences are too extreme for it to just be different camera angles causing them. The size doesn't match. The top is cut off way more than some wear and tear would have done, and the right side and bottom are misaligned too. It seems like the image file was printed to a real book, but it didn't fit the book size quite right. Another problem with the cover is that it doesn't align with how Scholastic does the uncorrected proofs. In every other FNAF uncorrected proof, they shift the top text down to make room for the banner. But that isn't the case here. And then, even after all that, there's still another problem with the cover. The Freddy Files got its finalized cover in February 2017. This book was supposedly printed in June 2017. How could the fourth version come before the third version? Unless Scott lied about the order of the drafts long before he'd have any reason to. That shouldn't be possible. And then, finally, we get to the most suspicious thing of all. Every Scholastic uncorrected proof has this page at the very start. Doesn't matter if it's FNAF or not. Every single one, without fail, has it. The Talbert files doesn't. I know from a source who wishes to remain anonymous, because, like, duh, why wouldn't they? That Entom was told to show it in his video, but he didn't. And we can see that photos of the book show a black page that appears to just say Scott Cawthon at the start. And even if the page ends up in the supposed scans of the book that are coming sometime in the future, it wouldn't mean anything, because Entom could just add that into the scans, or even print a new copy with that in it. The fact that they didn't show it despite it being near undeniable proof of the book's validity is really, really weird. So, I guess there's something else I should talk about too before we move on. I don't want to get too personal in this video, but there's one thing that's really rubbed me the wrong way. People have tried to tell me that I'm insulting Entom and insinuating that he's insane by claiming that this was faked. I'm not gonna say who these people are, obviously, because then they'll get harassed, but regardless, I don't think that's a fair thing for them to say. I don't know, Tom. I'm not in a place to speculate whatsoever about what their motives would be if they faked this, and so I won't even touch the subject. You don't need to know why someone did something in order to believe that they did it. For example, if I went outside right now and slapped myself in the face, passers-by would have no idea why I was doing such a thing, but that wouldn't mean they shouldn't believe that I'm doing it, and them noticing it doesn't mean they think I'm insane. Maybe there was a mosquito on my face that they were too far away to see. Maybe I was psyching myself up for something. If someone asked why I slapped myself in the face, nobody would get mad at them and say they're calling me crazy. So I don't see why that's different here. And it's not like this would take so much effort that only a crazy person could do it anyway. It would take lots of effort, sure, but if it's something that was fun to make, or that for some reason one felt they needed to make, I don't imagine it would have taken more than a few months. I even made like 5 pages of a fake Freddy files within a single day just for the fun of it. And the fanfic Notes from an Investigator was made in a pretty short time period. Apart from that and the jerks who have harassed Tom, though, I actually think this whole thing was really fun. This was a way more engaging mystery than anything the actual franchise has done in years. Even if Tom were to come out right now and say that the whole thing was fake, I wouldn't be mad. It would have taken a lot of effort, and it sure made things interesting for a while. Now, before we wrap up, there is one thing that makes me doubt my conclusion ever so slightly. If the book were to be real, I think there's a very, very high chance that this was written at the same time as, or slightly after, the Cassidy script for the movie. Scott referred to it as more of a visual encyclopedia than a movie, so turning it into a book filled with pictures would make perfect sense. I always wondered why Scott never did that, but if it was filled with outdated lore that's really just a bullet point list of ideas, then I'd understand. No point in making a book about Cassidy if she no longer has a book's worth of story to be told. This would even line up with Scott's post, assuming he put the scripts in order. There was a script that he worked with for a while, called the Misfit Kid script, which is most likely the one that was greenlit and then scrapped in November 2018. So the Cassidy script being a little over a year before that works well. So yeah, I might make a small video if/when the scans of the book come out, but unless anything major changes, this will pretty much be the last time I talk about the subject. I don't want to become, that one girl who can't let go of the Talbert files or anything. Also, please keep discussion civil in the comments, and don't go around using this video as definitive proof of the book being fake. It isn't definitive at all, and I'm not even an expert on the subject. This was just me rambling because I needed to get this out, nothing more than that.